Joining me now is senior Supreme Court advocate. He's also been a BJP MP, Mahesh Jethmalani. Mr. Jethmalani, appreciate your joining us. Would you concede that the optics of the Prime Minister visiting the house of the Chief Justice for the Ganesh Aarti with all the visuals being put out, photographed, sends out the wrong signal as the opposition claims? They say that this is a violation of the clear separation that is expected between the highest judiciary and the highest executive.
No, I don't. I think it's a completely innocuous event. I don't read anything into it. And I think those who complain about this being bad optics are looking at the whole matter with jaundiced eyes.
But
that's why the optics for them are bad.
But why do you say jaundiced eyes? The fact, Mr. Jethmalani, is that the government is one of the major litigants before the same Supreme Court in several matters, including, for example, the Maharashtra defection matter, which has been lying before the court for 2 years, which the Shiv Sena is raising time and again in the Chief Justice's court. In that situation, would it not have been better for the Prime Minister, and dare I say the Chief Justice, not to be engaged in this public display of bonhomie, if I may use that word, all of it importantly caught on camera?
I don't think there's any bonhomie involved there. It's not a question of kamadari. It's just a courtesy visit on a very auspicious occasion. The Ganesh festival in Maharashtra, as you only too well know, is one of the most celebrated festivals. And these kind of things happen all the time, and you call anybody. In a situation like this, where you are doing an aarti and taking darshan from the deity, right? You don't look at the personality of the person who's coming, right? You shouldn't. You should be blind to it. It's those people who want to read too much and disproportionately too much into an innocuous incident who will attribute these things. It's not people who actually participate in them. And I don't think the optics are wrong. I think you are doing very little credit to a judge of the Supreme Court, and particularly a Chief Justice, right? That just because he invites somebody to participate in receiving darshan from a deity on a major religious festival, that somehow or the other, his judgments are going to be clouded.
Mr. Jethmalani,
the problem is these people think like that. The critics of this event are people who are judging what happened by their own standards.
But let's assume, Mr. Jethmalani, that it's a private visit. If it's a private visit, fair enough. But then the entire visit gets publicized. All of it is caught on camera. It's almost as if there is a need to publicize it. It almost seems as if it's that attempt to publicize that suggests that you're breaking the barriers between the executive and the judiciary, according to critics.
You're saying it's 1 minute. Are you saying it's an official visit? Are you saying it's an official visit?
No. You're not understanding. I am citing, for example, what Kapil Sibal said. Kapil Sibal said, he's the head of the Supreme Court Bar Association. What was the need to publicize it in this manner? In fact, what he seemed to suggest that it was the Prime Minister who should have avoided all this. Yes, a private invitation has come. At best, you keep the invitation private. What's the need to be constantly on camera in an event like this, knowing the sensitivities involved?
Well, nothing wrong. It's the Prime Minister of a country who's coming. You want to capture it on camera for posterity. It doesn't mean that you're subservient to the Prime Minister. So, I mean, maybe Kapil Sibal thinks so, but the Chief Justice doesn't. He doesn't look at it that way. He said this is a thrice elected Prime Minister, right? He's coming to do darshan over there. I'll capture it on camera for posterity. Big deal.
You're saying big deal, but the fact is, the way Mr. Sibal is putting it, and as I said, he's the head of your Supreme Court Bar Association, he says it's the Prime Minister who has more to answer for. Saying the Prime Minister apparently suggests that it's the Prime Minister who brought the cameras there, allowed this event to be publicized. Maybe Mr. Chandrachud should not have allowed that to happen, because all of this leads to the Chief Justice getting embarrassed. That's the worry.
I don't think the Chief Justice is getting embarrassed at all. I mean, has Kapil Sibal told you that the Chief Justice feels embarrassed by the cameras? I don't know who brought the cameras, but the Prime Minister did so. I don't think the Chief Justice had any objection.
Kapil Sibal says it leads to speculation.
The Prime Minister wanted to show that, he was going to attend a religious event. So what? This is Kapil Sibal's thinking. But Kapil Sibal is bereft of issues. He'll attack anything.
He's saying
from this you are going to extrapolate, Rajiv, bear with me, don't keep interrupting me. From this, you're going to elaborate, you're going to extrapolate that there's some kind of, apart from the optics, subversion of institutions.
Mr.
People are judging others by their own. They are judging highly placed people by their own poor standards.
Okay, Mr. Jethmalani, let me now tell you what the Shiv Sena UBT, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray, said today. The Shiv Sena said, look, there is a serious matter of the Maharashtra defections which has been pending for the last 2 years before the Chief Justice. No verdict has been given. Maharashtra goes to the polls in about 6 to 8 weeks from now. And it is before the Chief Justice's court. The centre is, or the BJP is, is in the dock on the issue because of the way they handle the situation. A judgment could go either way. And just ahead of that, what do we have? The Chief Justice and the Prime Minister being seen happily together. According to them, according to the Shiv Sena, it sends out the wrong signals, and therefore they say the Chief Justice, Sanjay Raut says, should recuse himself from a case like this. Your response?
Well, they can make an application for recusal if they so feel that this shows that they cease to have any faith in the Chief Justice of India. Let them make a recusal application. Instead of flaunting their views and prejudging the issue and denigrating a Chief Justice, let them make a recusal application. What stops them? That's the proper way to do it. Not to gather your own publicity by making accusations and denigrating institutions because you're peeved, either because you've lost in the past, or you're generally a loser at the elections.
You know, Mr. Jethmalani, it's not just the Shiv Sena. Even senior lawyers, former Additional Solicitor General Indira Jaising, Prashant Bhushan have said what these pictures have done is they show how the lines between the judiciary and executive are getting increasingly blurred. What has happened, like it or not, is unprecedented. They say it should not have happened in the manner that it did. According to them, it shows how the judiciary as an institution is slowly but surely getting compromised by the executive.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, you know, the judiciary as an institution is not being compromised. The judiciary doesn't feel that they've done anything wrong, and nor do most right-thinking members of the public. They are attributing wrong perception to members of the public, right? Ultimately, it's the public who will decide whether this is, not the opposition. You're attributing, as I said, you are reading too much. It's all a question of what you say are correct optics. But I say you're wearing the wrong glasses. There is nothing wrong in this.
Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani, these are senior lawyers like you, and they've given two arguments. One is separation of powers and the independence of the judiciary. The other is, based on constitutional principles, secularism demands also the fact that you keep the state separate from religion. The people of high standing in public life must keep their faith in private. The Chief Justice has every right to have a Ganesh Puja at home. He should not be publicizing it, or someone, whether it's the Prime Minister's office, they shouldn't be publicizing it. The moment you do so, according to critics, you are violating certain secular constitutional principles.
But Rajdeep, you know, too much has flown down the Ganga in this country on that concept now, right? That you have to hide your faith, right? Has gone ever since Balasaheb Thackeray to tell the Shiv Sena, right? Garv se kaho hum Hindu hai. That's gone for a long time, and what Balasaheb Thackeray said was upheld by the Supreme Court when it upheld Hindutva as an electoral platform. So why should you keep if you are proud of your faith? I mean, I may want to, you know, I may not want to flaunt my Hinduism, but somebody else may want to. So what?
Mr. Jethmalani,
why should you be reticent about a completely innocuous religious? Are you saying it is wrong to pay reverence to a deity just because he happens to be a Hindu deity?
Not at all, not at all. Mr. Jethmalani, the Chief Justice has every right to do a Ganesh Puja at home. Let me say that again. Chief Justice has every right to do Ganesh Puja at home. But when you do it, you get publicized on camera over it with the Prime Minister there leading the puja in your house. Then the feeling is that somewhere down the line, the message that's going on is that the Chief Justice and the Prime Minister are in a special relationship, and this may end up violating, as I said, critics believe, those fine lines between the executive and judiciary. That's the argument which is being made.
All right, so there's a There are two parts to your question. First of all, there is nothing. There is no such thing as dividing a line between the executive and that situation doesn't arise. You are just giving it too much importance. There was nothing in that meeting which would even remotely suggest that this would lead in future to, in any case, only a 2-month remaining tenure Chief Justice to somehow subserve the executive's ends, to subserve itself to the executive's ends. You're reading too much to it.
No,
the other part which you said, right, about the optics, etc., I've already answered.
No, but Mr. Jethmalani, let me ask you in conclusion. There was a time when judges very, very strongly kept away from any connection with politicians. Once you wore the black robes of a judge, you were meant to studiously stay away from public gatherings or even private gatherings, certainly with politicians. You were meant to almost remain isolated in an ivory tower. These visuals that have come out seem to suggest that the ivory tower approach is gone. That's why many jurists are saying this sends out a wrong message tomorrow to other judges that it's okay to fraternize with politicians.
Well, let me say this. I never heard any brouhaha in 2009 from all these vociferous people now, right? When Dr. Manmohan Singh had an iftar party and the then Chief Justice was invited and came. Now you might say, but that was a larger gathering. I think the larger gathering, or if there were more judges than one, then the alleged optics are worse in the case when you've got more judges than one than when you've just invited the Prime Minister.
Sir, good point. But as a general principle, do you believe judges should simply stay away, avoid all forms of socializing, given that the moment they do so, there will be the kind of questions that are raised today? So maybe Justice Chandrachud or any other judge should, while they are in that chair, stay away from any gathering where they invite politicians. No private functions, while they are in public office, no private functions involving them. We'll only meet at official gatherings.
Rajdeep, listen to me. In every country, the bar, the bench, and politicians mix, right? Now, a single incident doesn't make a summer. One swallow does not make a summer. This doesn't happen frequently. Judges are generally very aloof. On rare occasions, they have too much work on their plate. Everybody knows that. Even the lawyers who are criticizing him know that they have to. They don't do this frequently, but this is a rare occasion. For somebody from Maharashtra, this is a big occasion. There is nothing to be gained.
Elections coming up in 2 months in Maharashtra.
If you think there will be, let the future decide. I mean, he's got 2 months to go. If you feel that some judgment of his, you point it out, that and which could have been influenced by this innocuous darshan, right? You still bring it out. What is the big deal?
What?
I mean, you've got remedies in the future. Nothing has happened. You're raising a false alarm at the moment.
Okay, what is the big deal? Mahesh Jethmalani, appreciate you joining us and giving us your perspective.